What are we talking about?
Morning, Ali.
Good morning. Welcome to Let's Be Frank.
Yes. Today we're talking about negativity.
Okay, it's good that we're smiling.
It's good that we're smiling. We come across negativity so often.
It is one of the do less of in our formula.
Correct.
Less negativity.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that one of the things about negativity is that, my favorite quote is...
we suffer more in imagination than in reality.
Yes, that one. Yes.
Okay.
The Seneca quote, it is so true that we make up these stories in our minds about what can potentially go wrong and what can happen. Another one that I saw that I thought was great was our worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. And the Buddha said that. What I liked about that is he's talking about the unguarded thoughts.
Yeah.
And so often I find that those unguarded thoughts tend to kind of be the negative ones.
Yeah. And I always say that the brain is such a powerful thing that sometimes you can kind of wish something into reality just by thinking it too much.
If you believe it,
yeah.
If you believe it, I think there's a Walt Disney quote, whatever you can imagine, etc., you can achieve it. And by just focusing, by being negative all the time, we can obviously bring those things into reality. So you mentioned the brain being such a powerful thing. There are a few things that I think are important to understand or to be aware of in terms of the brain. So first of all, the brain's an organ.
Yeah.
The brain, just like your muscles, need exercise. And we often neglect that. We think about all the other things in terms of our body that we have to take care of, and we forget about the brain.
Yeah.
And just like the rest of your body, it's very, very much reliant on how you feed it, what you feed it with. And we've got a little list.
Another memory list.
Another memory list.
You
want to run through that quickly?
So this is, what is the list?
So the list is about 10 things to take care of your brain.
Okay. So it's kind of about healthy brain.
It's about a healthy brain, yeah.
So the first one is diet. And anyone who works in this office with you will know that you're trying to get people to stop eating margarine, milk, those types of things. So diet, ants, automatic negative thoughts, which is what we're talking about now.
Yeah, which is a term coined by Dr. Daniel Amen.
Okay.
Who I highly recommend reading up a little bit about Dr. Daniel Amen and the work that he's done in terms of SPECT scans. Fascinating stuff.
No idea what that is, but I'll go look it up.
Yeah.
The third one is exercise.
Yep.
Then positive peer group. Is that next?
No, that's actually not the next one.
So the next one is brain nutrition.
Correct, yeah.
Then a positive peer group.
A positive peer group,
okay.
Yes.
Clean environment.
Yeah.
Sleep.
Very important.
Brain protection.
Mm-hmm.
New learning.
Yes.
And reduce stress.
Yeah.
Is that it? Did I get it right?
You got it right.
I don't know.
You got it right. Yeah, so a few other things about the brain to just be aware of. We all know that the brain consists of, I think, 3 major parts. So right at the center we have right at the center we have the amygdala, which is our reptile brain, which is, as we all know, the one that controls the fight or flight mode.
Okay.
So that's about kind of getting you out of danger. And that's where negative thoughts or negative experiences are stored.
Okay.
Then we've got the thalamus, which is the part of the brain that sends sensory information to the rest of our bodies.
Okay.
So when the amygdala tells us that we're in danger, the thalamus is the one that kind of increases the heart rate, increases blood sugar levels, adrenaline, all of those things. And you can actually check this for yourself. You can sit and just think about something negative or dangerous.
Yeah.
And you can feel your heart rate going up.
You can check it on the Fitbit.
You can check it on your Fitbit. But we also know that we often experience this in dreams.
Yeah.
And you wake up from a bad dream, sweating, your heart panting, racing. Yeah. So you weren't in actual real danger. But because your thalamus cannot distinguish between what's real and what's not, it just reacts on the signals that you're sending.
That's interesting.
So that's obviously very important to be aware of. Now, any negative thoughts, especially if you put yourself in negative thoughts that kind of mimics danger, all of these things will happen in your body.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things, some of the bad things that happen with that is as we spoke about, heart rate increases, which is not a bad thing necessarily, but blood sugar levels are spiked.
Stress, obviously.
Stress.
Yeah. Stress
causes cortisol, which is one of the main stress hormones.
That's what causes the grey hairs that I keep trying to hide.
No. See, there's a negative thought. There's a negative thought that we must banish. So cortisol, very high levels of cortisol is really bad for us. Sustained high levels of cortisol. It messes with your immune system. It can. So that's as far as I understand it, one of the reasons why we feel physically sick or ill when we're in a high stress environment. But so you can just see in terms of our thoughts and what we allow in our minds, the effect that it can have on the rest of our body.
Yeah. And on the people around us, I think, is it?
Yes.
Negativity, it kind of spreads like a disease.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. I think negativity, so what are some of the ways in which you can get rid of negative thoughts? And I like that term about the ants, automatic negative thoughts. We have plenty of those.
Yeah.
We had a situation earlier in the week when I asked you a question, and your immediate response was something like, my brain doesn't function, or
my brain's not working today.
My brain's not working today. Which was a typical example of an automatic negative thought, because the moment that you looked at the question, you could immediately answer it.
Yeah.
So that's a typical automatic.
Maybe a fear of looking stupid also that makes you think like that. Like, oh no, I can't do that right now. I'm not in the right frame of mind.
Correct.
Because otherwise you're put on the spot and have to perform or achieve something,
Yeah. So we have to guard against things like that. I think another one which not necessarily automatic negative thoughts, but lead to negative thoughts, complaining. We love complaining. We complain about the government.
The coffee.
We complain about the coffee. We complain about, so many things. And it's one of the best ways to start a conversation.
Yeah. The weather's shit today.
Correct. It's the weather. On a Monday morning, guys will come in here and they will talk about their favorite sports team and how bad they performed. And that kind of leads on to more complaining and more negativity. So stop complaining. I think, very closely related with that is make the distinction between what you have control over and what you don't have control over.
Yeah.
So, although we all have a right to vote, and we're responsible for the government that run the country. We are not in control of what happens on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And they just get comfortable with that.
Yeah.
The economy, and so many other things that we are so used to complaining about. And just think in terms of your everyday life, sitting in the traffic, somebody cutting in front of you.
Yeah.
What's the point
of
the name calling? And,
and they just carry on smiling and their day is fine.
It doesn't affect their day. But immediately your heart rate goes up, the cortisol and all of those things happen, and you're just in a foul mood. So things like that. For me, one of the best ways to overcome this is to start your day in the right frame of mind.
Yeah.
So we talk about things like gratitude. Start the day by just looking around you and being aware of what you have to be grateful for. And mindfulness. Mindfulness has become such a popular topic these days, and there are all sorts of apps and ways that you can do that. So whether you want to do full-on meditation or whether you just want to sit for a few minutes and just breathe.
Yeah.
Breathing's also very
quite important. If we didn't do it.
If we didn't. But proper breathing.
Yeah.
Proper breathing. For me, those things really make a difference.
Yeah. I think also something that I realize is I'm often in a rush in the morning because I wake up late or I snooze my alarm 3 or 4 times. And the past 2 days, actually, I've woken up before my alarm and got a nap. And already my day has started so much better because of that. So you don't feel like you're panicking and having to do things quickly and you're going to be late and all of that. So, I mean, yesterday I even had time for a cup of coffee at home, which is very unusual. So,
And you also realize that you don't miss that extra 5 or 10 or 15 minutes of sleep.
Yeah.
So that's a great realization, and I would encourage everyone to just make that little bit of time for yourself in the morning. To not be that rushed.
Yeah. I've heard a few people say that snoozing your alarm is not a good way to start the day.
Oh, it's definitely not a good way
and
to
I'm
start
one of those, I set about 7 alarms and snooze each one, so I have all of this noise coming at me in the morning. I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, it's not. It's not a good thing. But you already say that just in terms of what did you say, in 2 days, you can already see the difference.
Yeah.
So that's a great habit. But take that little bit of time in the morning and just start your day in the right way.
Yeah.
It's quite a difficult exercise. What I find it quite difficult to do is to try and be a sort of spectator in your own mind and check those thoughts as they go through.
Yeah.
So if you can do a bit of a count, a negativity audit, if you will, for a day or two. I'm not saying necessarily fight those thoughts, but just become aware.
Them,
Acknowledge them, become aware, and then also become aware of what impact or influence that has on your behavior and so on. And if you can do that, if you can kind of be a spectator in your own mind, and you check the number of negative thoughts that run through your mind on a daily basis, the negative self-talk, we haven't even
the kind of I'm not good enough or I'm not capable or
correct, or just that automatic I can't do this or I'll never be able to do that without even considering what are the ways in which you can achieve something or I find a lot of the time people just make that statement when they are fully capable of doing it. So I encourage people to try that, to become that spectator in your mind.
Yeah.
And like so many other things, it's about that awareness. Once that awareness is there and you realize that I'm doing this, is then you can start putting plans in place to start avoiding the negative.
Or maybe replacing it with positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, if you remove all the negative, what's left?
Yeah.
I don't think that we can really be neutral. It's either positive or negative. So if we focus on removing those negative thoughts, then automatically I think our minds will be filled with more positive thoughts.
Yeah.
I mean, and you've read hundreds of articles that warn you to stay away from negative people.
And the Stoics even talk about negativity quite a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's not a new concept. I mean, this goes very far back in history in terms of how our negative thoughts kind of start running our lives. But in the same way that we encourage to stay away from negative people, I think if we can initially focus on getting away or actively blocking those negative thoughts or banishing those negative thoughts from our minds, it will also obviously then become clearer who the absolutely negative people in our lives are that we have to avoid. And maybe through our positivity we can have a positive impact on other people's lives as well.
Yeah, well, as much as negativity breeds negativity, I think positivity breeds positivity. So it's the whole idea of if you smile at someone, that smile will spread around the world or whatever the thing is.
It will. So be positive, guys.
And check your thoughts, set your intentions, and let's get rid of negativity.
Like it.
Thank you.